Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. When it comes to Russia, end of time, Israel, how Israel will play a role, the main knowledge, the main point, or the most important thing that you have to understand in this regard is Gog and Magog. Now there are two different ways or methodology that was used to find out who this Gog and Magog, Yajuj and Majuj are. Number one methodology, it says that it is called goose chase method. Basically means you trace the blood of the Caucasian people from Bulgaria, Romania, all the way to the blood that ended, or the lineage that ended in Russia with the Russian people. The other methodology that you can use is the historical geographical correlation, in which you take part of the territory, for example Turkey, North Africa, Sudan, Somalia, and you find a trace, you connect those countries with the rest of the world, and you end up going to Russia. The first methodology, it basically means that any country, could be even from the States, Canada, Russia itself, Australia, any country could be the Gog who would be attacking Russia. So that was the first methodology. That was again goose chase methodology. The second one, if you go with the second one, it would specify which country that is, and in this regard, if you use that methodology, regional, it means Turkey and these countries, Northern Africa, Sudan, Somalia, all of these countries will be leading the battle against Israel at the end of time, and Russia will be also part of them. So the first methodology, the problem is all of these countries, any countries actually from the world, would be involved to invade Israel and at the end of time. The second methodology is specific. It has to be only this country or that country. In this regard, it could be Turkey or Russia or Lebanon, Somalia, this country, Syria. Nevertheless, this person, as you can see right here, he explained how Israel will be invaded and which methodology will be used. The interesting thing is that even the Bible, in a biblical prophecy, these methodologies are not very, very clear. The first one actually contradicts completely with what we see today. So for example, the first methodology, it says even US can invade Israel, and we have seen how loyal US had been to Israel. So it is impossible for US to actually invade Israel, because there is no way. Evangelical Christians, they are in US, they support the state of Israel. In fact, US not going to not invade Israel, but they are going to actually protect Israel. So let me show you this map. As you can see this map, in this map you can clearly see which countries are involved in the invasion of the Israeli territories. So these countries basically, Romania, Bulgaria, as you can see right here, these countries are the one who have their blood, in their blood they have Gog and Magog, who are going to the state of Israel and attacking, who are going to Russia, and at the end of time they are going to be attacking Israel. Okay, so this is these are some of the countries, and this is one way of looking at it. The other way you can look at it is that not these countries, rather it will be Turkey. I want to show you this map right here so that you have a better idea. Rather it will be Turkey right here, okay, who will be invading Israel. And this is why these countries, today we have US, we have UK, all of these countries, they are very, very cautious in terms of dealing with Turkey. And as I said in my other videos, that Turkey will be invaded at one point, whether it is by Russia itself or whether it is by these Western powers. led by United States. So it could be even in all of these countries, Ireland, Iceland, Denmark, all of these countries could actually come and attack Turkey right here. As you can see on the map, they could actually attack Turkey because Turkey is a Muslim country. They are going to consider Turkey for that as a direct threat for the second coming of the Jesus Christ. And this is why you see even from US they are going to be putting a lot of pressure. I mean, right now, as we know, Turkey is under sanction. Every now and then you see US is putting a lot of pressure on Turkish economy, and the reason for that is sometimes so silly. Wallahi, they say, well, you are not freeing this priest, you are not freeing that priest, you are not letting the people to live their life under democracy. So every time now and then you see America, okay, they're coming up with different excuses just to invade or harm Turkey, and the reason for that is because they consider Turkey to be a threat for the state of Israel. If you take a look at recent events to back it up, if you take a look at the recent events, you will see that the state of Israel, okay, is under pressure almost all the time by none other than Turkey. You have a state of Israel right here, Iran is right here, and Saudi Arabia is right here, and we have this, a country, Egypt here, Israel is right here. They are always, they're always saying that Turkey is objecting everything, pretty much objecting everything we do. When they go to Palestine, when they invade Masjid al-Aqsa, when they attack Masjid al-Aqsa, you find that Turkey is really the sole voice against Israel. No other Muslim countries like UAE or Oman or Bahrain or Saudi Arabia, they talk about this. The only country that has a big problem with Israel's action in West Bank, especially in West Bank, is Turkey. So they are now convinced, the Western countries, that at the end of time war will take place with Israel and Turkey will be the main culprit. So Russia, yes, they're fighting Russia and they are going to continue to fight. The reason for that is because they believe that Russia will join Turkey, northern African countries, Sudan, Somalia, and all these countries to invade Israel. And this is why you see American evangelicals, every time the politician in the US, they try to sell the war, this politician, they're very, very happy. They support people, the evangelical Christian, are very, very happy with this politician, because the more you talk about fighting with Russia, the more likely you will be getting funding. Because if you run a party, whether it is Democrat or the Republican, you need a lot of money for your campaign. And this money, they're coming from evangelical Christians who support the state of Israel. So if you want to make money, if you want to have a lot of funding, I should say, for your political agenda, then attack Russia. Talk against Turkey as much as you can. If you are not doing that, on the other hand, this evangelical Christian in the States, they would not vote for you. They will consider you to be a threat for the state of Israel in itself. So this video that I was watching, and they were mentioning about two methodology to define who Gog and Magog are. Subhanallah, this is so convoluted. We are very, very clear in our Islamic eschatology about the Gog and Magog, which is that they will come after Dajjal, and Rasulullah, he did not say who they are. All these weird narratives coming from different shuyukh, they don't make any sense. Zombies are Gog and Magog, some people say. Don't dig deep into it, because this is a knowledge belongs to only Allah Azza wa Jal. At the end of the day, when human being, they come up with their own version of this kind of interpretation, they are going to contradict themselves. That's the only thing they will do. They are going to contradict themselves. But Allah Azza wa Jal, and in the hadith, we find clear direction, we find explanation about these two tribes, Gog and Magog, that they will come at the end of time and they will be huge in number, and that they will take over the world, and they will even try to take over the heaven and shoot arrows to kill the angels, subhanallah. So this is what we really need to stick to. But every now and then we do share the biblical prophecies so that we can compare and find the contradictions that exist there, and to explain to our brothers and sisters from Christianity, from Judaism, the true message of Islam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.